Guatemala City is the capital of Guatemala, the largest city in Central America, and the political, social, cultural, and economic center of Guatemala. Lying in a valley of the Central Highlands at an elevation of 4,897 feet, 1,493 meters, above sea level, it has a temperate and invigorating mountain climate. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumb up. Guatemala City was founded in 1776 to replace Antigua Guatemala, which had been virtually destroyed by an earthquake in 1773, as the capital of the Captaincy General of Guatemala. After independence from Spain was declared in 1821, Guatemala City served successively as the capital of the province of Central America under the Mexican Empire of Agustín de Iturbide, 1822–23, the Central American Federation, 1823–33, the state, and, finally, the independent Republic of Guatemala. Distrust of the city in other areas of Central America and the prevalence of open fighting in the city's streets and public buildings was a factor in the demise of the Federation and in the failure of subsequent attempts to revive it. When Quetzaltenango, which had become the capital of Guatemala in all but name, was destroyed by an earthquake in 1902, many of the leading families moved to Guatemala City. The modern city was largely rebuilt after the disastrous earthquakes of 1917–18, which shook the city intermittently for 6 weeks. The characteristic appearance created by low massive structures has been modified somewhat by the erection of steel and concrete multi-storied hotels and office and apartment buildings of modern design. Elegant residential districts have grown up on the borders of the old city, particularly toward the south, and low-cost housing units have been constructed in various parts of the urban area, in addition to the government offices and services concentrated there. Guatemala City handles nearly half of the capital invested in the country and accounts for more than half of the industrial establishments and production of the republic. It is the focus of highway, rail, and air transport and is the commercial and banking center of the country. Guatemala City also dominates the cultural life of the country. It is the seat of the principal faculties of the San Carlos University of Guatemala, established 1676 in Antigua Guatemala, the major institutions for artistic, commercial, vocational, and military education, the Society of Geography and History, and several important museums. Public buildings of note include the National Palace, the Post Office, Police Headquarters, the National Archives, the National Archaeological Museum, with its collection of Mayan artifacts, the National Library, and the modern cluster of buildings around the City Hall. Among the major religious structures are the Cathedral, 1815, and the churches of San Francisco, Santo Domingo, famous throughout Central America for its Holy Week procession, and La Merced, colonial but rebuilt after 1917. Other points of interest include the remarkable concrete relief map of the country in Minerva Park, the archaeological and historical museums, the colonial aqueduct, the Central Market, and Olympic City, built for the Central American Olympic Games of 1950. In the environs of Guatemala City are the villages of Chinatla, famous for hand-formed pottery, Mixco, which supplies the capital with fruits and vegetables, and the Indian towns of San Pedro and San Juan Zacatepeques, all of which suffered extensive damage in the earthquake of 1976. Several villages were evacuated when the nearby Pacaya Volcano erupted in 2000. Caminaljuyu, historic center of the Highland Maya, located near modern Guatemala City, Guatemala. The site was inhabited from the formative period, 1500 BC, AD 100, until its decline after the late Classic period, c. AD 600 to 900. About 200 burial sites from the late formative period, 300 BC, AD 100, have been uncovered. From the early Classic period, c. AD 100 to 600, a number of more elaborate tombs containing Teotihuacan-style pottery have been unearthed. The design of the tombs and some of the pyramids also reflects the influence of Teotihuacan, the most important center in central Mexico during the Classic period. There are also courts for playing the ball game Tlachtli. Because of the lack of stone suitable for construction, pyramids and other structures at Caminaljuyu were built of adobe and later of other perishable materials. In the late Classic, the center declined in importance. Please subscribe to this channel,